Good day, everyone. I'm Clarice Palacio, and this video is the continuation of the topic Writing a Comprehensive Report in Special Education. So today I will be discussing to you the report format in writing a comprehensive report. The first section is the identifying data, wherein it contains all the necessary basic information about the student. The data of this section includes the name of the student, address, phone number, date of birth, grade, school, chronological age at time of testing, parent's name, the teacher, the name of the person who referred the student, dates of testing, date of report, and the examiner. The second section is the reason for referral. It explains to the reader the specific reasons why this evaluation is taking place. So basically, it is a brief overview of why the student is being assessed. We should always remember to keep it short and straight to the point. It should not be longer than 2 or 3 sentences, but should be comprehensive enough to clarify the purpose. For example, Jane was referred by her teacher for an evaluation as a result of inconsistent academic performance and poor social skills. The third section is the background history. Relevant information should be included in this format. Certain areas should always be covered in the background history section. These include family history, developmental history, academic history, and social history. The family history. It provides reader with a general understanding of the family structure, parental perceptions, and etc. For example, Jane lives at home with her mother and younger brother Jack. Her parents are divorced, and Jane has no contact with her father. The next part of the background history is the developmental history, and it contains any relevant background history pertaining to developmental milestones. For example, Jane started to talk at 2 years of age and received early intervention to help her with her language ability. Academic history includes relevant academic performance during the student's school years. It includes all pertinent academic information such as past teacher comments, grades, attendance, and etc., and lead the reader grade by grade in establishing a pattern of concern. For example, Jane's first grade teacher reported that she had a great difficulty in the area of spelling. Social history provides the reader with an understanding of the child in his or her social group participation, organization, hobbies, interests, interaction with peers, social life, and the likes. For example, Jane is reported that she has no friends and does not participate in any extracurricular activities. By completing the background history, it should provide the reader with a clear understanding of the student and his or her world at the present time. Behavioral observation includes a description of the student's behavior during the testing session. Here, for the first time, you are providing the reader with your professional and first-hand observation of the student in a controlled setting. This section is important because it may reinforce what is seen in the class or be very different, in which case the structure of the testing environment should be explored for clues to learning style. Example: throughout the assessment, Jane appeared anxious and nervous, as she was biting her nails and always asking whether her answers were correct. So the fifth section in the report format is the tasks and procedures administered. Tasks and procedures administered is a simple list of individual tasks and any procedures used to enhance the report, such as classroom observations, review of records, and parent intake. No further explanation is required here other than a list. This section will vary depending upon the professional doing the evaluation. For example, the educational evaluator's list of tests and procedures administered may look like this. The next section is the test results. In this section, it analyzes the results of each test and looks at the child's individual performance on each measure. It includes the name of the test, the date of the test conducted, a brief description of assessment, and the summary of results in a table. The test result is a crucial one because it analyzes the results of each test and looks at the child's individual performance on each measure. Step 1 for writing test results is first you have to write out the name of the test. For example, Wessler Individualized Achievement Test. The second step is by creating a table or a summary result in a table, which could include the following: standard score, classification, percentile rank, and grade equivalent. So this is the example of a table in writing the test results. Step 3 is to write a brief 1 to 2 sentence statement about what each subtest measures. So the example of this 1 to 2 sentence statement is: so moving on to the next step, make a statement regarding something to note about the student's performance on each subtest. Moving on to the next format is the conclusions. This is the essence of the report. This is where the examiner explains in simple terms that may indicate academic strengths and weaknesses, an overall diagnosis and level of severity of the problem areas as indicated. You also have to include the summary of overall performance of the student, such as stating the name of the student, age, grade, and reason for referral. And in the next sentence, you have to discuss its strengths. And the next few sentences, you will be discussing about its weaknesses. And you should also add a sentence or two about the behavior of the student. So this is an example of the conclusion. The last section of the report is probably the most valuable section for the reader. It should contain practical recommendations that will bring some hope and direction for the identified problem. It should be practical enough and explained in such a way that the reader will have no problem following through. You should also try to separate the recommendations into the following 3 sections. First is the recommendation to the school. Second, the recommendations to the teacher. The third one is the recommendations to the parents. So after inputting the format of the comprehensive report, you should always remember to sign at the end of the paper. So that was the end of my topic. Thank you for listening and God bless.